Welcome to the 411, home of the truth.
Giving me nothing. Giving me nothing. Giving me nothing. I want you. Giving me nothing. Yeah. Giving me nothing. Yeah. Giving me nothing. Hungry. Yeah. I want you.
Welcome everyone. This is your host RJ with the 411 Experience. And today, do we have a special guest in the building today? I haven't brought my notes just so I don't forget a lot of the key points that I wanted to make. Inspirational speaker, yoga teacher, life coach, and author of The Path to Freedom. We have with us Miss Debbie Dixon. How are you, Debbie?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for coming on the show.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I've actually been following you for quite some time now, just kind of seeing what you're doing as far as yoga and as far as speaking, words of positivity into the community and into, the world. And I thought it'd be very interesting to have you on the show to sit down and talk to you and have you share that with our viewers.
Oh, well, I'm super, That
Okay.
obviously, as you know, that's my thing. So
Absolutely.
any opportunity I can get, I'll take it.
Perfect. And so today I want it to be more of a conversation, right? So nothing too scripted. I just want to speak freely and just kind of let people get the opportunity to get to know you, right? So let's go back to the beginning. Where were you raised? I guess.
Where did I grow up?
Yeah, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Renton, Washington.
Oh, local. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Went to Kent Ridge High School, and really local. Yeah.
Okay.
Very diverse. Yeah.
For sure. So back then, did you always have the same aspirations to kind of be where you are today? Did you see those characteristics then, or were you completely different?
Oh man, that is a really good question. I don't know that anybody's ever. I love that because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Because I teach people about really going back to when they were little and looking at some of the things when you didn't have the house or the car, the limitations, right? All the things that keep us stuck. What did you dream about?
Right.
And I often think, what did I dream about?
That's the question.
Yeah.
What did you dream about?
I don't know that I ever would have imagined myself ever to be who I am today. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Were you in sports? Were you athletic or anything like that? Talented in music? Did you play instruments? What were you doing in high school?
I mean, I did all the things. I did the music.
Okay.
I played sports. Soccer was huge in my family. So,
All right.
it was, my dad's from England, and so I grew up with football, not soccer,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The real deal.
Yes, and my
Okay.
dad was one of the only in Washington State, one of the only, I think referees that that could referee at the highest level or whatnot.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, in soccer, and so I ended
Alright.
up spending a lot of time at professional soccer games.
Were you any good?
Did I
you
play?
play?
I mean, I would like to say I was good.
All right. Okay.
I'm very competitive.
Okay.
but-
Okay. Now, just to be fair, this is back then because we're gonna fast forward. We're gonna talk about
Yeah.
all the achievements and
Oh,
the
for
success, but I just kind of want to set the tone to where just because you start somewhere doesn't necessarily mean that's where you're gonna end up.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
You know. So okay. So then that was high school. You grew up in Renton, Washington. Let's see. So did a little bit of sports. Play some instruments, but nothing strong enough to keep your passion and your desire fulfilled. So you still probably felt like there was something else in the world you wanted to.
I mean, really, honestly, my life as a child was very dark. It was a very different me, and so that's where my
Okay.
book, The Path to Freedom, comes in. It was like
Okay.
when I was growing up, it was kind of the house that was sort of the facade, like the white picket fence idea, right? So
Right.
what everybody dreams of, I guess. I lived in kind of a upper middle class neighborhood, but in reality, it was a vastly different experience in my house.
Okay.
My brother was a drug addict. I experienced sexual abuse and emotional abuse, and I ended up kind of leaving the house by the age of 15, so I was on my own. 17, I had a baby. And I had a very dark kind of view of the world. I had a very limited view. All I had seen was, me against the world, kind of like...
very guarded.
Yeah, very guarded. Oh my gosh, yeah. It was protect yourself. And so, by 17, I was kind of living in this place where... very, I guess, very guarded. It was kind of, making it through the day, trying to have food on the table, figuring out how to keep the lights on, and not always able to,
So, so going through that and trying to figure out your next step, what was the turning point to where you're like, okay, I'm tired of this? You said you were, at that time, you had a child. So, what was the turning point where you're like, this is enough? Enough is enough.
I don't know that there was a turning point where it was enough. When you're in that place, which a lot of people live there nowadays, right? There's many people that live where you've never seen the light, so how can you know what you're missing? And that's where I was. I lived in the dark. I didn't know there was anything else. I didn't know there was a world where you didn't have to watch your back, where, you could just know that there was food in the fridge. I never experienced that, so it wasn't a turning point. Right,
it was just survival.
I was in survival, for sure. And so I stayed in survival for a really long time. I mean, that led me into, I was like the perfect candidate. I checked every single box for, predators, right? So I became, I worked in the adult industry. I got trapped there for a very long time, but that was because it was really the only option I had, is the way I saw it, because it's a very limited view. So nowadays, that's why, like, what I do is I try and reach people that are there in the limited viewpoint and open up their eyes to seeing something broader, right? Yeah. Right.
Okay. So, because I knew a little bit about that, because you've been very vocal and honest, on your social media about that. But I wanted you to kind of tap in, just so our viewers can get a wide perspective of who you are, not just the good, but also the dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, fast forward, you went through that, so you had that, and then you started to see glimpse of opportunity. What was that like when you started seeing some, like, hey, this world is starting to lighten up, I'm seeing some light, there's opportunities. So, talk about that.
I don't know, that's so interesting, because it's not really...
That was, okay, so there were no points.
You can't see the light in the dark, you know what I mean? It was like, that's an impossibility. You only see, you're always going to look through a dark lens. Even, you could take me to, I don't know, it's like the parable where there's a person that walks into a room and there's, 999 saints and one sinner. Right. If you have that lens that I was given through the programming I was given at such a young age, you're going to sit next to the sinner, and that's going to taint the whole room. Right. Everybody is going to seem like the same thing. And so that's really where I was. I had this experience of the world that was very dark. And it was yoga. It was my first time, and honestly, it was Madonna.
Oddly enough, okay.
Oddly enough, yes,
all
surprisingly.
Right. So talk about that.
She was the inspiration. Madonna, back in the day, she was who every young girl, was sort of like looking up to, because she was handling business and conquering the world. Yeah, and she had gone through this metamorphosis that was really in front of our eyes. We saw this person that was like, she was like a virgin, and then she came out and she's just getting ripped and shredded and buff, and she's talking on every chance she can about yoga. And back then, yoga was like this foreign word. It was, I remember trying to figure out how to spell it, like to write it down when she was talking about it. And I'm like, what is this yoga? And she, in particular, talked about Ashtanga yoga, which is a type of yoga. Okay. So and again, we didn't even have if you can believe it, like no computers or cell phone. Like,
oh, I believe it.
Oh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So back then, and so I grabbed the yellow pages and just looked up Ashtanga yoga, and again, there was no yoga on every corner like there is now. It was like
Right.
there was one yoga in Seattle. I lived in Renton. I drove all the way to Capitol Hill to see what this was all about because I wanted to be like Madonna, you know?
Right.
And again, at the time, I'm working in the adult industry. I'm still very much in this dark lens, me against the world, and I walk into this class. And it was probably the first time that I had ever, I think what I had done was I had mastered escaping my body. You know, I had mastered
Right.
leaving my body to fend for itself.
Right, and
So
detaching
that,
mentally.
detaching mentally,
Wow.
escaping. And yoga says, I'm going to teach you how to stay in the body even when it's uncomfortable. So you're going to be in a pose that's going to be so uncomfortable. You're going to ache. You're going to hurt. You're not going to want to be there. And you're going to breathe and you're going to stay in your body. And I rebuilt this relationship with my body that had been really severed, right, up until then. And at the end of the class, my teacher would do this really special thing. It was like this ceremony, you know. It's called Shavasana, right?
Okay.
Where they lay down and she, you know, play this music and do some Palo Santo, which is like this beautiful smelling, like incense almost. She'd
Okay.
put these eye pillows on it. She just made this really, and it was probably the only time my nervous system had ever felt calm, peaceful, and love, you know, or kind of that,
Wow.
aside from my children. And so
Interesting.
I was drawn to this yoga thing, and yeah, I think that started to kind of peek open the cracks and open
Okay.
up the door, which then, created the shift, or
That's
the opportunity
The
for
opportunity
shift.
for shift.
After, yeah.
There we go.
Didn't create the
Exactly.
shift, yeah.
So that also told me which came first. It was yoga.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yoga
Okay.
came first. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that would have been my next question. Okay, so on the topic of yoga, let's stick with that for now. The cruises. So I know you do a yoga retreat, if you will, or events on the cruise line, on the cruises. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I do. So as far as my yoga goes, I teach, I do wellness cruises, so I work with Windstar, Windstar Cruise Company, and I kind of just started, I've done retreats, transformational yoga retreats all over the world for probably 15 years now, so I take groups and to all over, I mean, just infinite places, and decided to partner with a cruise line. I thought it'd be kind of cool. They go to some really amazing places.
Yeah.
And so I did my first one a couple years ago on the Tahitian cruise with Windstar, where I was just leading a retreat. So we were kind of like a small sector on the ship.
Okay.
And then after that, the ship just took it over and decided to do a whole wellness cruise. And now we're doing wellness collections. So we do like 3 cruises a year, or sometimes
Very
more,
nice.
where I come on, do meditation, I do yoga, I do talks, I do sound healings, I do all of it.
So the whole works.
Yeah. Yep. It's a
Amazing.
whole wellness experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to talk about, we have the author, we have the yoga. Let's speak on life coach.
Yeah.
So would you say it was because of your life experiences and all of the things that you've acquired and learned, and you've, you know, powered through, and you found a way, and you found peace and the experience, if you will, so you're able to go and help others, you know, because a life coach, you know, in my opinion, you would have to have a vast amount of knowledge to, you know, to be able to do that. And can you talk about that, you know, a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much everything in my life has been, it's been interesting. I do everything backwards. It's like even teaching yoga, you know, it wasn't something I could just go and do because a yoga teacher training is really expensive. And remember, I was sort of overlapping lives for a while where I lived
Right.
very much in scarcity and lack, and had 2 children, was a single mom, and kind of all of that was living in me.
Right.
And I wanted to step into yoga, and that wasn't it felt like that was for the lifestyles of the rich and famous or something. Like, who's going
Right.
to take care of my kids for 30 days while I do this
Well, yeah.
teacher training? Who's going to give me, $3,000? I'd much rather, or I would need
Exactly.
to spend it on my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I had always wanted to have a yoga studio. So I ended up doing it backwards. I opened up a yoga studio and then certified myself through a teacher training.
Oh,
So
wow.
and then so everything that I've done is kind of this backwards way. Well, when I had the studio, I was also, long before that, I had started doing I've always been really interested in yogic philosophy, even before I found the physical asana of yoga or the poses.
Mm-hmm.
I was the philosophies just mesmerized me, and so I've always been interested in law of attraction, or you create your own reality, and just all of these different things. So I was in real estate for a little while, and during that time I began a group where I brought people together. It's called the Power of Light, and we discussed these concepts of like law of attraction, and you create your reality, and all of that. And so
That's
what
amazing.
people, so I would always do something. I developed a program that I still run. It's called Realizing Your Dreams.
Okay.
And so I would do seminars and stuff. When I had my studio, I was holding Realizing Your Dreams seminars.
Mhm.
So people were coming to me all the time, like, hey, Debbie, wanting advice. Like,
Right.
I had, one of my students wanted to keep my voice, this is, again, before a podcast or anything
Yeah.
like this. They wanted my advice, like, on something that they could listen to. So they brought me somewhere like this and recorded me, and then turned it into a CD, which became another Realizing Your Dreams
Right.
program that they could take with them. So anyways, everybody was wanting my advice, and they would feel guilty taking it. There's something in the universe that's like balance. Like, if I take your time and you give me something valuable in that, I'm going to feel imbalanced around
Right.
you until I can pay you back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would find gifts all the time. People would be putting these, gift cards or, money behind my desk at the studio. And eventually I just thought, it's better if maybe, instead of making people feel guilty for taking my time, what if I just put this on the schedule where people can schedule in sessions? So that's where it first
That's
started.
where it started. Okay.
I had an office space in the studio. I opened up scheduling, and people started to schedule. And ever since
Yeah.
then, it's just been word of mouth, referral, this and that. Yeah.
So do you feel like that's because of the type of energy you put out? The universe brings it back to you, like it kind of reciprocates? Because it seems to me like you'll think of something, and instead of waiting for it to come or someone to give it to you, you go and create it and you make it happen.
Yeah. Yes,
know?
I do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just, I'm kind of thinking as you're speaking, and that's the
Well,
kind of...
I just feel like the idea came from somewhere, right? So there was
Yeah.
an inspiration. We all get a spark of inspiration. And then there's that time between where we are and then getting to that thing that we want.
Correct.
And oftentimes, we could just sit there and dream of that thing.
Mhm.
But oftentimes when we dream of that thing, there'll be a little step in our heart that we know we need to take, whether that's like something we need to let go of. Like we know
Correct.
we can't get to that thing until we let go of this other thing. Or we know we can't get there until we take this one action. But only we know what that thing is that we need to release or step into. And what I've always done is been very good at that. Like,
Right.
I put my purpose above everything else in my life, literally everything. So it's like if I have something that I'm told I should do, or through my vision, I guess, that spark, then I'm also often told a step I need to take. And
Correct.
so I will boldly step,
Yeah.
even without having a net or not knowing any idea how it's going to work out. I won't map it out. I'll just take the first step, and always magic happens. Yeah.
So you don't wait around, or you just go.
Go. I just go. Yeah.
That's great.
it's-
That's
yeah.
great. Well, I had a...
Makes people uncomfortable. Very
Exactly.
uncomfortable.
It gets you out of your comfort zone. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, what would you say to someone watching, struggling with self-confidence, trying to figure out who they are?
Try to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, because nobody knows who, that is the biggest question in life, right? Who am I?
And we all have to answer that.
100%, and you should be constantly asking that. That should be the only introspection you do every single day, because it is the most important thing, in the world is, who are you? Because that is your world. I always say, like, we are in our own little Netflix show that is about us, right? So I have Debbie Dixon Netflix show, and I'm the person that's developing the character that is me. I also get to decide who's going to play in the supporting roles. I get to decide my set. I get to decide how I show up, how I interact, what roles I'm playing, all of that. So, so if I get to decide that, if I'm not liking the way my world is showing up or how I'm showing up in my world, I'm the person that needs to change it. So I've got to look at it first. Who am I?
That's right.
So whenever I start with a client, that's one of the first things I do is I listen to them talk and I take notes about who they are in their words. And then I ask them, who are you? And I get some that, if you met you on the street, what would you think?
Right. I like that. I like that a lot. So the reason why I'm asking Debbie these questions is because of her Ask the Guru. I think it's on Spotify. If I'm
all over, yeah.
And all over.
Places,
it's all over. I would highly advise you guys to go check it out and just get caught up. It's amazing. You will definitely find yourself in one of those episodes, and you will connect. And once you're there, you'll be on your process and on your journey moving forward. So also, let me see. So what amazing things, so tell us, like what do you have coming up? Anything exciting coming up that you could share with us?
I have the cruises, so my next one I think is New York to San Juan through Bermuda. So just lots of those traveling. I have my festival coming up, so my company is Lit. Lit stands for Love is the Truth. It's a nonprofit. And so we put on events all over Washington, also working with Portland and California with some of our partners. And these events are free, and they're opportunities for people. So like myself, when we go back to me as a teenager or young adult, when we're in lack and scarcity mindset, we often don't have money to be able to invest in self-help things and the things that are going to make us feel good. So for me, I'm like, it feels like a catch-22. It's like anything that's going to benefit you is going to cost a significant amount of money, and the problem is you don't have the money. So it's like, wait a minute. And so for me, what Lit does is we make those things affordable for people or free for people. I do life coaching on the sliding scale, even free if necessary. I go and work with women and children that are in places like I was, that have these sort of lack mentalities, that are in the dark, and I help them to expand and broaden their horizons, looking at some of those questions. So Lit, we do the events all over, as I said, but we also have a festival coming up. This is last year, it's our second year. Last year was in Quilcene. It was a 4-day camping festival. And I brought in yogis, again, from all over the world. So these are performers, we had musicians, we had, it's this opportunity where normally somebody would pay maybe $50-$100 just to do a special class with like a master teacher. Now you're going to spend $100, and I bring all the master teachers. You have your choice. You get to go to classes all day, sit with these people that have.
That's amazing.
Yeah, deep dip. So again, that's happening.
That's awesome.
In Des Moines. It's at the end of next month, September 27th to 28th.
Okay.
Yep.
So there you have it, and we'll also post it on the episode too as well, the links to it and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're definitely a busy lady, to say the least, but it's also fascinating that you are able to incorporate all these different things, these gifts that you have to give back to the community, all around, and you still have the energy, the energy that just keep. We were talking earlier off camera, like it's just bouncing back and forth all over, scheduling and going. So that must be something. There's a passion inside of you, a love for humanity, a
Yeah.
love for people
Yeah.
that drives you to continuously do these things that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah,
Exactly. Well said. That's exactly, I think,
yeah, I'll listen.
if there's anything that when you said you go back to the little me, that is the one thing that aligns, is I always wanted I wanted everybody around me to be happy. It was
Right.
like, I can just remember being little and just wishing that I could just make everybody happy. And now I've figured out, instead of me, the way I used to do that before was, I'm going to take on all of your worries. I'm going to take it all on myself.
Right.
And now, instead, I just teach people how to change their perspective, how to see another world, how to lighten. And I live in service. I wake up every day, how can I serve?
Right.
Thank you for allowing me to serve, and then I surrender.
That's perfect.
Yep,
So instead of taking on their burdens, you help teach them how to handle their own.
exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
I mean, because I feel in my soul, every single person has a unique purpose, and the one thing that I have that I guess is a gift, or what I love to offer, I guess, the world, is I can see that purpose. I can see in somebody their potential. I see who they're supposed to be, and how they can show up. So I can kind of, when they sit with me, it's like they look through my eyes and they see themselves the way that God sees them, universe sees them. They see themselves in a higher light, and so I can open up that passageway for them to start moving towards that. And that's just always been a knack for me, and I love that. It's like, one of the things that you can, if you want people to love you, see them for who they're becoming. Don't hold them in who they are. See
like
them
that.
for who they're
I like that.
becoming. Because we will often look at somebody and say, oh gosh, look at what they're doing. That's terrible. And I will never say that. I'll always see somebody as perfect, exactly as they are. It's like, no matter what. And that is something, like, try me. I promise you. No matter what. Like.
No, I actually like that.
Yes.
No
matter what.
I really like that, because you said see them for who they're becoming, not for who they,
Yeah.
where they are. Because a lot of times we see something that we like and we want to keep that way the whole time. But as time goes, we change.
Yeah.
And we grow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's very true. Yeah. So, and so we should want that, right? We should want people to continue to grow. We should also love them for who they are. Like, so there's this acceptance. This is who they are, and that's perfect. Like, I don't need you to change, but I can also see the you, if we kind of were to uncover you, like unpack the way that you minimize yourself, maybe, or aren't showing up at your highest light, or really aren't.
Right.
But I don't demand that you go there. I don't demand that you become anything other than what you are. I think it's amazing who you are today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think that that's something important. I also will ask people to go back and love every version of themselves up until today. I can't sit there and just love who I am today without loving who I was.
Right.
And some of that I mentioned that I'd gone through, right? I have to love
That's
that
right.
too.
That's right. Because it all shaped a part of who you are.
So it became,
Right.
it is who I am.
It
right?
is, right, exactly. It's owning everything, every part.
Every version of me.
Yeah. So to our viewers, right, is there any words of encouragement that you would love to share people and have them take away from this interview with us today? Something that they can remember you by, what would that be?
Words of encouragement that they can remember me by, I would probably, I'll go with my message today, which was, and I'm speaking about Instagram today. My kind of woke up, and every once in a while I'll just have this inspiration. Today it was that we can only live in one of two places at any given time, and that is either in resistance or acceptance. And that's it. That's it. And that's a choice, and that's a choice you get to make. So either you're resisting what is, which is causing you to contract, to feel stuck, and it's also painful. It is suffering when we are in resistance. And when we accept, even the most uncomfortable circumstances, through acceptance, we release the grip on it, and we liberate from the suffering that it might be causing. So try to find a way to accept where you are, and then once you get into acceptance, maybe move into gratitude, and then you'll find all the things in your life that even the things that were struggles.
Right.
Even the things that, again, like some of those things that I went through in my life that people are like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry. I'm so grateful. They're blessings, right?
Right.
When we can look through the lens of blessing at our whole life, everything kind of changes, yeah.
It changes, yeah. And it makes us who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And, but a couple of things I also wanted to make sure. The Path to Freedom, right here.
Yeah. So The Path to Freedom is my first book.
Yeah.
And that talks a little bit about that story, and it gives you lots of worksheets and different things that you can work on, kind of like the who am I thing, who am I becoming, who do I want to be, and Realizing Your Dreams program is in there. And then this book is one that I wrote just during COVID, like a little bit before COVID and during COVID. So that is called What If You Could Have It All?
Mm-hmm.
And this one kind of breaks down sort of like what we were talking about off camera again, your some of the belief systems that we've taken on as society. We're seeing all these belief systems, by the way, being dismantled. I mean, all the systems, societal systems, really. We're starting to look at our medical system like, what the heck?
Right.
We're starting to look at, just the government, and just all of the systems right now are being looked at. I mean, we even see people looking at genders and kind of going, wait, labeling and putting people in buckets, and how once we put a label on something, it limits us. And do we want to be limited? And so what if says, what if we look at some of these beliefs that are limiting us? What if we start to look at some of these systems that we've accepted as truth, and we start to just look at them for a second and go, what if they aren't true? What if there is something more beyond this?
Right.
What if we don't have to get sick? What if we don't have to grow old? What if these things aren't necessarily true? And so this will literally change your life if you read this book. I promise you that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for taking the time, for speaking with us. I really wanted to have the 411 viewers get an opportunity to meet you, if for the first time, to be introduced to you, so they can follow you, and believe me, they can go and watch, or listen, I should say, to Ask the Guru, because you do unpacked a lot of valuable information and tools that people can use to meet themselves wherever they are and get them to wherever it is that they're trying to go.
Yeah, for sure. Well
so
said.
I will absolutely say and stand behind that. It was pretty fascinating. So thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your experiences, and also sharing with us the 411. And I appreciate that. To all you guys for watching, continue to watch us. We have some more interviews coming up. We want to thank you again. I am your host, RJ. This is the 411 on Channel ATV.
Talking done, boy, when the wolves come out. Watch the fade away and Reggie when it comes to shooting. Heart pace at least, flesh from scar to running straight through them. Man, crazy with the tools, no power patrol. Die slow as the world turns, drama light show. The catacombs and grave remains propane with they head blown. How you got syphilis on the brain, no botch, no go. Let me whisper in your ear, you should have found Jesus. Record skipping, soul gone, pine box with the fresh trees. No leasing, cinemass, turned you paraplegic. Oil's leaking out on the concrete, burning transmission. Unexplained mystery, what you think you solving? Better check the dental records if you can't card them. Farm prescriptions I'm prescribing is known to harm them. There's a really loud bang when the vulva got 'em.